Sup, you two. It's your girl Emily, and we're back with another video. On a serious note, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Emily, and we are back with another banger. I just want to come in to my videos now with some genuine energy, and I think this is the point of life that we've gotten to. We're trying to heal our inner baddie. We're trying to heal the inner baddie that has been a baddie since, little. And I think my whole life I've been told to kind of be like modest and, just stuck up. And I think for once in my life, like I said, I finally decided to do whatever the hell I want. I mean, I moved to a different state. I cut my hair. As you guys can tell, most of my life I had my hair down to the back of my bone. And yeah, we're just doing new things. We're trying out new things. Like I said, we're just trying to heal and bring back this inner baddie. And of course, I'm gonna take you lovely baddies with me on this journey. I just wanna be authentically myself. And I think part of that is just learning along the way what works for you and what doesn't work for you. So this is what we're doing right now. We're just being myself, and I'm just not gonna, just put on this I'm your therapist type of character on for you guys. I'm just gonna be myself, and we're gonna talk today. enough talk about me. But today we are going to be talking about how to be a selfish biatch. Okay? So part of going into this journey of, like I said, changing into who I am, who I truly am, who I want to be, who I love to be, is really taking the time to be by yourself and ask yourself, like, am I putting on this look and am I putting on this show for others, or am I putting it on for myself? Changing who I am, changing my environment, changing even down to my look. Not necessarily changing, but just learning and accepting the changes that come even with my personality. Because like I said, I since little knew that I was always this loud, super big, bright personality, but along the ways, a lot of my outside environment and situationships, and not situationships as in relationships, but situations that happened in my life changed and dimmed that light of who I really was. And now it's time to flip that switch and change it right back to who I truly am. When it comes to changing those things, majority of the time you have to put yourself in a mindset of being selfish. Because why? Because you have to be selfish as in not give a fuck about who and what gets in the way of that. So respectfully, if somebody does not feel comfortable in your light, you have to be selfish enough to not care if that makes them uncomfortable, if that makes sense. I think we live in a world where we want to walk on eggshells about everything that we do, and we live in this such we want to live in this such perfect dynamic that it kind of takes away the authenticity of things. And even along this journey of me trying to figure out what I want to do in my life when it comes to YouTube and niches and things like that, I have tried a million of things. I have tried vlogging. I have tried, the relationship dynamic videos. I've tried being the makeup baddie. I've tried just doing so many things that have helped me figure it out, which I'm so blessed and grateful for, because we love a grateful baddie. And those are just things that I've been having to try and figure out the way. Obviously, those have been influenced by many inspirations that we see on social media. Meaning, number one rule is not caring what people have to say about you, regardless of what their opinion, what their perspective, what makes them comfortable or uncomfortable. That is their problem. Worry about yourself, babe. Worry about your light and how many other people out there can actually be inspired by your own lights, if that makes sense. Some people will not be in your group, in your category, and that is okay. That is okay, because it does not make you better than them, and it does not make them better than you. It just makes you. You are your own person. I am my own person. I have my own perspective. You have your own perspective, and that is how it's gonna be. And if you want to call that selfish, then so be it. If you want to call it confident, then so be it. If you want to call it being ignorant or being self-absorbed or being anything selfish, like, because I feel like that all follows under the line of like that. Oh my gosh, she's so self-centered. Oh my gosh, she's so selfish. Oh my gosh, she only thinks about herself, self-love, self-love. Yeah, because at the end of the day, it's you versus everybody else. At the end of the day, it's me having to amp up my own back and my own self, because no one ever kind of seems to see that or be there in the way of the process. We got one moment where people are cheering me on and telling me one thing, that we got another side of people hating, and some way, somehow, neither parties actually satisfy me, because I don't even have that within myself. Number two, I would say part of being selfish, because that's like really self-explanatory. I think I will make a whole video about how to be a confident queen, but today we're talking majorly about like the beginning of how to really stir up that selfish part of you and really like drill it into your brain that like you cannot save everybody. You cannot put your whole entire energy for everybody else, because there will be nothing left for you to even have in your hand. There's no way you can even work on being confident if you have not even tried to at least pull some of that energy back to you. So in this case scenario, like I said, I'm using myself as an example, and I'm going to be sharing my testimony on exactly how I had to become selfish in order to bring back this inner baddie. Like, genuinely speaking, like, is that not like, as a female, as a woman in this world, I think we work very hard on like trying to just, like I said, be authentically ourselves, but we just don't seem to know how to. I think women hold a lot of powerful energy that we don't even understand or know how to even use it. And a lot of that times is because literally we just don't know how to self-love, how to be selfish, how to be self-confident. Like, it all has to do with our own self. And so number one, I wanted to make it very crystal clear, is not giving a fuck about what anybody has to say, not caring if you are either too weird or too demure or whatever you want to call it. Babe, if that makes you happy, if it truly does make you happy, if you're truly not doing it because of anybody else but because it's simply you, then so be it. So be it. Why are you seeking anybody else's validation? Why are you not amping yourself up and just getting that certainty from yourself? It's because we're lacking all of this energy that is being poured into everybody else but you, babe. So number one thing I want to talk about is when you are really trying to channel your inner baddie, when you're really trying to channel even like your self-worth and just the principle of just being selfish to get you to where you need to be content with yourself, is stop being always available. Stop being always available to everybody's time. Stop being available to everybody's problems. Stop being the therapist. Stop being the personal assistant. Stop being everybody's backbone in order to move. Like, you are building them into such a bad habit, into thinking that like you have nothing going on for yourself, that it's okay for people to treat you this way, if that makes sense. You're basically literally creating yourself into an actual human crutch. And so everybody has the right to kind of even look at you as a crutch, to look at you and be like, okay, well, she hasn't vocalized any of her struggles. She hasn't vocalized on how my behavior is kind of affecting her. She hasn't vocalized on how, you know, I've been doing so much for you that I've lost myself, that I can't figure out myself, or I have these struggles too and I want to work on these things on myself. So they have every single right to keep using you that way, because you're not vouching for yourself. You're being available 24/7. I think that played a big and huge role into my upcoming, because I used to do that so much. I used to be so available for every single birthday, for every single anniversary, for every single holiday, for every single moment of their life, for every single inconvenience of their life, that I had absolutely no time to figure out what the fuck I wanted, to figure out what were my problems, how do I find the solutions to my problems. And when I sat there and I'm like, who's gonna help me? Guess who the fuck was there? Nobody, because guess what? I was the everybody. I was the one who had everything figured out. So when the person has everything figured out, does it really seem like they need any figuring out? I used to do that so bad, even with like relationships with my family, with my friends. I used to just always be the one, oh no, I could do that for you. I got the handle for you. Or I got the answer for you. I got the advice for you. Or I got the funds for you. I can hold it down. I got this amount of money. Don't worry about it. But yet I was declining myself and diminishing myself so, I wouldn't even say rapidly. I think it's even worse when it like works so slowly, because it's like you're like literally seeing it in a timeline, how you're like draining yourself, how you're literally like rottening, like not sobbing, rottening as a apple off of just giving all this energy to everybody else and having nothing to store for your own. Babe, not having boundaries makes people oblivious to what your standards are. At this point, it is not their fault. It is yours. Babe, you cannot save everyone. Not everyone is meant to be saved. And why is that? Because as humans, we have to learn alone. Like there's like, it's almost like drilled into our, it's almost like, no, it is not almost. It is in our human nature to literally like come into this world alone and leave this world alone and have our own, like we are not mind readers. We are not shapeshifters. We're not like, we literally are on our own in our mind. And that can be such a powerful thing, but yet such a dangerous thing, because we can literally do the worst thing to ourselves just by thinking it. But then we can also become the best versions of ourselves just by thinking with ourselves, working on ourselves. And I think that that's not spoken about as much on social media. I think social media, I think it is kind of changing over time. I think this is exactly why I'm here today, trying to find the motivation. Another big thing is stop trying to do God's work. Stop trying to be God and save everyone. That is not your job. That is His. If it was your job, babe, you will be able to like literally make shit appear at this point. Like you will be able to save the whole entire world. But why is it that you trying to save everybody and everything is draining you? Why? Because you are not God. You are not God. You are not the source of the power. Like you have power within yourself, but you are not the source. Not everything has to be like a resource that is being pulled out of you, because guess what that ends up doing? That ends up literally draining you. It ends up ruining things for you. It ends up taking out let that be somebody else's job, the man above, his job. It is not yours. You did not create the whole planet. You did not create the whole world. You don't know how everything works out. You don't know shit to be doing anything else for anybody else but yourself. That's the only thing that you do know. What you do know is for yourself. What is right for me? What is consciously, like I said, speak to God and figure that out with Him. But let everybody else figure that out on their own. That is the only way we learn. Because if it was all up to you to save everybody and have the answers for everybody, then why are we living this evil and cool world that we're living in? Oh, right. Because you're not God. Because you don't have all the answers. Because you are not perfect, and that is okay. Another big thing that comes in with being selfish is being okay with not being accepted by everybody. You cannot seek validation from other people, because then your life will literally be filled by following every other person. There will be nothing unique coming out of you. There will be no creativity being come out of you, because you're constantly seeking validation from everybody else's perspectives and everybody else's creativity and not yours. We are literally made with different DNA. Do y'all understand like how that actually works? Like we all have different DNA strands. Like we all have such different unique things to ourselves, down to like our features, the way our body works internally. Like a million women can get pregnant, but we'll have a million different of pregnancy experiences, and that is because we are so unique. We're not supposed to be like each other. We might have similarities like each other, but we cannot be exactly like each other, because then that ruins the whole point. That ruins the whole point of this world. That ruins the whole point of like the gift that God gave us, the liberty, the free will that we have to literally live this earth and do whatever the hell we want. Do whatever we want. Do and create. We've gotten to a planet where everything was just fruits, vegetables, and water, and now we have this crazy world where we now have AI and technology, and we found even medicine to help figure out things that we literally couldn't figure out with just fruits and vegetables. That's the crazy gift of life now. The fact that we've kind of manipulated that and probably ruined it or probably turned it into evil, that's a whole different story for another day. But right here, right now, the only thing you can do is accept that you are unique, accept that you are different, and now do something positive and creative with that. Be authentically you. Don't shame other people. Don't do evil to other people. Being selfish does not just mean saying fuck everybody in the most disrespectful, evil, backstabbing way. It means just prioritizing you so that maybe you can inspire them to do the same thing. And now, hey, let's both be selfish and self-loving to the point where we can literally love the whole entire world and share that among so many people and share the creativity and be uniquely ourselves to be able to do that. How about that? One thing that I read in this book, because I've been another baddie thing that I've been doing is, filling my head with knowledge, filling my head with so much information that I truly do think that I can, like, once again take for my own, make it my own, and in a way share it with you guys in the best way that I can possible, in the most positive way possible. Because my purpose, I feel like in my heart, and I think a lot of people have this purpose. Obviously we all have like different purposes when it comes to like our career and what we want to do in life, but I think majority of our purpose is to do good to this world, to do good to the universe, and share that positivity between our hearts and our energy. I've been taking in so much knowledge about how us humans work, and number one thing that I read into not too long ago is that language has been used as a tool for control for centuries. Words shape imagination, which creates ideas to inform our reality and behavior, whether they're bad or good. I'm gonna say that again. Words shape imagination, which create ideas for us to inform reality, whether that's bad or good. When you really actually think about that, right? We're taking our words and we're creating an imagination of what we want it to be. These bad and good ideas are taken and then echoed by us, and we blindly accept them as truth. These truths are then passed on by generations. But now it's up to you to live by the good or the bad. That's simple. Now backtrack. Unless someone in your lineage has intentionally corrected these good or bad traits and ideas, you're most likely following a program that breeds self-hate or self-distrust. This can work the complete opposite way. If somebody has intentionally corrected these things in your lineage and has turned them into something good, you probably project self-love and self-confidence. Those are very, 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 very important things to think about, because when you get down to the nitty-gritty of really figuring out whether this is something that is generational, if this is something that we're following in our environment, in our society, in our family, in our friends, in our relationships, you can then identify what the hell is it that you want. Because guess what? Not only they had the ability to change that in their lineage, you do too. Because life doesn't just stop within you. Life keeps going on and on and on and on in the future generation, your future children, the future kids, all these people that we're literally spreading all this information to. Be very wise. Just be very, very wise with how you want to impact the world, how you want to carry yourself, how it all starts within you. Let's actually forget about the whole impacting everybody else. Figure out how you want to correct those bad and good things within you so that you can therefore do those things for your future. For the future, not only your future, the future. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is because the society that we live in today literally thrives, and I mean thrives, on the disconnect that we have within ourselves. Because guess what? Guess what happens when you're disconnected, when you're disaligned? You're easier to control. You're easier to fall back into the system that we have ourselves in. So for the sake of your life, for the sake of your future, self-evaluate. Do the self-work. Be selfish. Examine and ask yourself, is it truly good, or is this just a good appearance? And if it is good, according to whose principles? Yours or theirs?